They want to share with you today an exciting demonstration of the unique capabilities of America's newest and most advanced tactical fighter, the F/A-18 Hornet. The Hornet is a proud name in United States naval history. Navy ships have been named Hornet since 1775. Since the American Revolution, 8 vessels named Hornet had served this nation well. From the sloop Hornet, which ran the British blockade of Charleston in 1775, to the aircraft carrier Hornet, which launched the spectacular B-25 raid on Tokyo, Hornet has remained in the forefront of naval history. A new Hornet has now joined the fleet. Rather than being launched from shipways as her 8 predecessors, the F/A-18 rolls out of the McDonnell Douglas Corporation plant to take its place in Hornet history. The multi-mission F/A-18 blends advanced concepts of aircraft structure, flight controls, and digital technology to make it the most unique single-seat aircraft in the world today. The aircraft on display, the 2 engines together, will be developing over 32,000 pounds of thrust. And with the aircraft's weight of 32,000 pounds, the Hornet has a 1-to-1 thrust-to-weight ratio. He will be cleared for takeoff as soon as we have the U-2 cleared from the runway and he will receive that takeoff clearance in just a few moments. Smoking is not permitted anywhere on the ramp. Common sense tells you. Lieutenant Mark Provo is now flying all 32,000 pounds of thrust in big TV-404 engines on board the F/A-18 Hornet. The Hornet from strength to attack missions under day, night, and adverse weather conditions. The advanced radar, forward-looking infrared set and laser detector tracker provide target detection, acquisition, and tracking data for sensor-aided attacks. Weapons delivery modes, from manual to fully computed releases, provide the pilot with a high degree of weapon delivery flexibility and accuracy. Approaching from the right to perform the simulated bomb loft delivery procedure. Today's tactical air environment. The strikes into Grenada and Lebanon, Libyan Su-22 and MiG-23 kills, and the first ace in Vietnam, all launched from and recovered aboard a United States Navy aircraft carrier. When the F/A-18 goes into harm's way, it will be from the deck of a ship. Next, the Hornet will be approaching from the right in the landing configuration with gear down, flaps down, and hook down. The excellent slow-speed handling qualities make the F/A-18 uniquely suited for operations from the carrier deck. At show center, Lieutenant Provo will select full afterburner, retracting the landing gear, flaps, and hook. He'll then commence a climbing spiral turn, reaching an altitude of 10,000 feet after only 360 degrees of turn. No other aircraft. Watch now as the Hornet will demonstrate its minimum radius turn. Approaching from the left at 350 miles per hour, Lieutenant Provo will execute a 360-degree level turn. During this maneuver, the pilot will maintain 6 to 7 times the normal pull of gravity. 7 positive G's on this aircraft as he comes in from the left at 350 miles an hour. To demonstrate for you the FA-18 Hornet minimum radius turns. This computer-operated control system actually receives inputs from the pilot, then chooses the flight control surfaces to use based on airspeed and angle of attack, and evaluates aircraft performance to give the pilot exactly the maneuver he demands. The same computer controls the deflection of the leading and trailing edge flaps to give the Hornet's wing maximum efficiency in any flight regime. Lieutenant Provo will now demonstrate the excellent slow-speed capabilities of the FA-18 Hornet. Approaching from the right, the Hornet will be flying at an airspeed which will enable it to outmaneuver other aircraft in a slow-speed dogfight, thus performing the Hornet High Alpha Pass. final approach at 130 miles per hour. It would appear, however, that he's coming in at a high speed. This is as he approaches the aircraft carrier before the pop-up carrier brake. Approaching the deck of the carrier. And right at the carrier deck. The traffic pattern for landing. Right around the bridge and right up onto the downwind, he comes back into power and slows down to a speed of about 130 miles per hour. With the landing gear and wing flaps extended to set up for landing, this slow landing speed gives the pilot more reaction time to control his rate of descent, line up, and airspeed.
Hi, this is John Horrigan, producer of Air Expo. You're watching the 1994 air show from Quonset Point Naval Air Station in Quonset Point, Rhode Island. Next time you see me, give me your money. Lots of it. Thanks.
Approach to the carrier's left hand. The carrier has 4 cross-deck cables, which the aircraft's tail hook can grab. The arresting gear on the ship will then bring the aircraft to a stop in a mere 300 feet. The pilot would miss all fire. He simply adds full power and takes off again. And that's the maneuver that Lieutenant Mark Rhode from Naval City, Florida is going to demonstrate for you now. The FA-18 Hornet of strength measures Mark 106 from Cecil Field in Jacksonville. Approaching the carrier deck at a speed of 130 miles per hour. Aiming right toward the 4 wires across the carrier deck. Has never done before, always catching the 3rd wire. He applies full afterburner power and takes off once again, clearing the deck of the ship to come back around and try it again. And he's decided that because he's so happy to be here, he's going to give a 10% reduction on anybody mentioning they were at this air show. They go to see him for glider rides and put us back. Danny, let's tell them that address and the phone number again so that they can contact you. Folks, if you've never gone for a ride in a sailplane, please contact Danny and make arrangements to do that. You'll go up with a pilot in the 2-place sailplane and go for the ride of your life. Okay, the FA-18 has now touched down. Folks, the Gladiators and Strike Fighter Squadron 106 are proud to have flown here today, and I hope you've enjoyed the practical flight demonstration of the FA-18 Hornet. Let's hear it for the Gladiators from Cecil Field in Jacksonville, Florida. Well, the view from our side, watching that beautiful Salto sailplane, salute to this. John Mahoney and his sailplane aerobatics, his ballet In the Sky. We'll have some music to go along with that. Let me try to reach him once again on the radio. John Mahoney, how do you read? John Mahoney, how do you read?
With my eyes.
Right up there, John. Past that cloud. Don't take
soaring grace John Mahoney, the Salto Sailplane. 1992 and 93, Ohio glider aerobatic champion, the New York glider aerobatic champion, New England glider aerobatic champion, and a member of the 1993 U.S. National Aerobatic Team. Nice half spin by John Mahoney. The beautiful Salto Sailplane. The aircraft first flown back in 1971. When he touches down, before he touches down, he'll be making a pass, and we'll listen to the sound of silence as he comes by in this beautiful Salto Sailplane. Glider Aerobatics, 1993, U.S. National Glider Aerobatic Team member John Mahoney from Clifton Park, New York.
Britt, look out. Step over. Up, over. Good girl. As John continues to work closer and closer to the ground. Beautiful soaring, sweeping aerobatics in the Salto Sailplane. As he touches down, I'm going to walk out in front. And as he touches down and lands, he'll roll right up to meet me, and we'll be able to talk at that time right to John Mahoney as he circles and circles, soaring on down. We'll get a tight turn to the left as he comes back in front of us. We can get John Mahoney, touchdown, all the taxiway, and roll right up there to me. Lots of wind out there, slow him down. He's got to go through the what you see the landing gear extended up the bottom of the sailplane. He's safely on the ground at this time.
We're expecting the C-5 to show
car
up.
like the
The
one provided
C-5
by
is the
El
largest
Cerrone down at the
plane
Rhode Island
in the
National
free
Guard Air
world.
Show.
The Soviets have a larger aircraft.
Or take a ride
Also,
in the old
there's rumor
DD
of an
LSS, the other one. That's the one that I drove
F-117
up from Pennsylvania.
An
and what a terrific
F-117
car
stealth
it is.
fighter is on its way,
Larry,
and also B-52.
Dan, let me
And for that
remind the
frickin'
folks once again
Skylab,
about, I see some of the trash and napkins and things like that blowing out beyond the yellow fence out onto the flight line area.
He's complaining about
Folks,
trash
please be very,
here
very
blowing out
careful
on the
with that.
flight
There's
line.
lots of trash
The problem
barrels
with the trash, no,
distributed
there aren't
throughout
lots
the
of trash
static display
barrels.
area.
Okay.
If you would please,
Can you work
when
with
you're
me
through
on
with
that?
the sodas and drinks and napkins and so forth, please walk over to the trash barrel and deposit them in there. The sponsors of Sean D. Tucker and his 1-800-COLLECT Challenger. You can stop by the end of the runway.
Jack, it's a lot quicker between the acts now than when we were at Hanscom at the Air Expo 93. It's a little bit tighter, it's a little bit better prepared, I think, than Expo 93, as well as John and I. Peter and John, John and Peter.
Without John, without Peter. How's it go? After 5.
Oh, John? John would be nothing without me.
What is it? After 3 minutes, Peter needs John.
After 3 minutes, Peter needs John. After 10 minutes, John needs Peter. How's it go?
No, after 3 minutes, Peter needs John. After 10 minutes, John needs Peter, and after 20 minutes, they both need prescriptions to that.
They need refills.
Folks, just a few more minutes. Our air show will continue. Also, when you have some copies for the next day, be sure to stop the announcer's booth here at Show Center. Again, we have a little time. That would be a great time to grab a hamburger or a hot dog from one of our trained trainers working on the most reliable air conditioning systems in the world. Trained power air conditioning systems and high efficiency.
See it?
Natural gas heating systems will keep your family in
He said, here comes the C-5. Hey,
It's hard to stop
say it.
the train.
Here comes the C-5.
For a free estimate on installing and training simple air conditioning system, call Horrigan Engineering, a proud sponsor of the Rhode Island National Guard Air Show. Rhode Island National Guard would like to thank all the Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts shell dealers for bringing children from the Hasbro Children's Hospital to attend this year's air show with their parents as VIP guests. And also, don't forget to visit your Shell ETV Food Mart for all your food convenience needs. Experience the difference. Shell. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look further runway and right to your left, you will see the C-5 Galaxy about to make its first pass down the runway, losing altitude rapidly. It's going to make a couple of low altitude passes as it comes by. But before it gets right into the area, it's going to make some steep descending turns right overhead. To lose altitude and set up for low altitude passes, you can see that he's got the wing flaps extended, lots of stuff hanging out the back of that wing as he's going to be descending down and losing altitude. I will remind you once again, let's do another kid check here. 1, 2, 3, folks, look at your kids. Right now the Mancinis are saying, we don't have the kid here. So if your name is Mancini and you're a youngster, you're probably not looking at your parents right now. You're probably looking at the big C-5 in that nice steep descending turn, spiraling down to lose some altitude before he makes his passes from left to right and right to left. So folks, if you do become separated, come on down here to the announcing stand area. Come on down here and we'll get everybody back together again. And parents, please hang on to the kids. And kids, about every act, after every act is through, take a look at the parents, make sure they haven't wandered away. Parents do that sometimes. But I'll tell you, this is the place to get everybody back together. I'll tell you what, kids, when you're down here waiting for your parents to show up, what you want to do is take a look at some of the other parents who are down here. Take the ones that have Aurora keys or Oldsmobile keys like this 88. Look for the ones that are holding on to keys like that. Those are good parents to go home with. Okay? So swap them out. Act with the parents. If they're not going to come down here and pick you up and take you home, go home with those parents. They obviously have good taste. They drive excellent cars like these Oldsmobiles down here. So go home with those folks. This will all work out. We'll get some good folks together. So if the folks that came to the show with you are not with you, please come down here to the announcing stand so that we can get everybody back together again. And parents, please help us out. About every couple of minutes, please take a look at your kids. They're kind of fun to look at anyway, aren't they? Take a look at your left right now as we see the big C-5 Galaxy coming by at a slow speed pass. Six engines producing some 48,000 pounds of thrust, and on the tail you saw Patriot Way. The United States Air Force Reserve Squadron at Westover Air Force Base in Massachusetts. One of their aircraft is here on static display. As since we don't have the world's largest airport, we're not going to have two C-5s on the ground at the same time on static display. So this aircraft is going to make a couple of passes for you. You'll be able to get some good pictures as they come by in several passes. And if you want to see one up close and personal, we have one from the Patriot Wing here on static display. The largest aircraft in the United States Air Force inventory. The C-5 has been tested at weights exceeding 900,000 pounds maximum gross weight. It normally has a maximum takeoff gross weight of some 840,000 pounds. 840. With its big General Electric turbofan engines on board, the aircraft built by Lockheed, the largest aircraft in the Air Force inventory. Great airplane to have on static display in an air show because it can hold about 7,000 of your best close personal friends. And it's a good place to get out in the sun, enjoy the air show, walk through the C-5.
With the Navy Blue Angels while they're flying their FA-18 Hornets in close formation. And people are saying, well, where is it? We've been walking through the static display area. We didn't see the reactor. Where it is, if you walk down, if you face the flight line, face the demonstration zone, and then look to your left and walk down toward the C-5, once you get out beyond that hangar that's on your left, if you go around the corner of that hangar, that's where a reactor is set up, right there. That's where you can get inside this simulator. You can sit there, you will become a part of the Navy Blue Angels formation team. I'm telling you, I have ridden through this thing. It is unbelievable the realists of the don't go through. It's right around the corner. Go in there, sit in this, and you become a member of the United States Navy Blue Angels. It's just like being on board in the F-18s. Ladies and gentlemen, the C-5B Galaxy and its passing review. On the big GEs to prevent the aircraft from going supersonic. Yeah, well, maybe not. He certainly did prevent the aircraft from going supersonic, didn't he? So what a good job he did. As the big C-5 will pull up, and I believe he has one more pass. I'm checking with the air boss. No, I believe he's going to be heading back toward Westover Air Force Base, Massachusetts. Of course, this aircraft has an unrefueled range of about 6,000 miles. I would suspect he probably has enough fuel to head on over to Westover.